The following is a production of Notch 6 Media.
It's the Notch 6 online podcast, episode number 39. It's Friday night at the Lionel Collectors Club of America National Convention, and this convention is about to hit high gear. Today we talk with Dennis DeVito, president of the LCCA. We're going to talk about product with him. Al Colas is here to give us a preview of the day's events and some very, very special announcements. This is the breaking news that you all have been waiting for. It's right ahead on this episode of Notch 6.
This is the Notch 6 online podcast. Notch 6 is the podcast dedicated to O-gauge trains. Whether you're collecting, operating, or just getting started, Notch 6 is your home for O-gauge news, events, and interviews. Now here is your host, Derek Thomas.
Well, welcome back for another episode of the Notch 6 online podcast or radio show. Whatever you prefer, that's been our mantra this week. You can call us a podcast, you can call us a radio show, just don't call us late for dinner. I've been taking jokes from these guys, and I can't believe I just said that, but we're back again for another episode, and this is a big episode. The news you guys are about to get in this episode is just great. We're going to hear from Lionel's president, Howard Hitchcock, in this episode. You're going to get breaking news on brand new product from Matt Ashbaugh. And the special thing, and I told you this last night, you are the second group to hear this information. The first group are the folks that have been here at the convention. They will hear this first, and within a half hour, you, the listener, will get this information. And so we're so excited to bring it to you. Let's start the show off with somebody who we haven't talked to this week, and he's been just as busy as everybody else. Dennis DeVito, president of the LCCA. Welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Derek. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, and we should say we're doing things a little bit differently today. It's morning, and instead of doing a recap of the day's events, we're going to do this a little differently. We're recording this in the morning before things get busy, because it's going to be a very busy day, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and this allows you to get the news on air as soon as it happens.
That's very true. We're here to talk to you about some really exciting stuff. It's something that we haven't talked about this week, and I think everybody really wants to hear about that, and that is LCCA product. The LCCA has turned out some incredible products over the last few conventions, over the last few years. The Texas Special Set, being an example. The convention cars are always great. And this year is no different. Tell me about a few of the cars that are here at the convention this time, and then we'll launch into what's coming down the pipe.
Can do, Derek. One of the things I would like to say first is that we have a number of members who have purchased our Monon car from it was delivered here to us this week. We've asked that they be delayed in shipment until next week to allow our conventioneers time to get home. But the Monon convention car is here, and it should be in your hands within a few weeks.
Very nice.
The cars here, we did actually distribute our racks and racers cars. This is a 4-set die-cast 1/3 automobile on what was the Evans car loader, all decked out in Wabash livery. It was very well received. It was a kind of a earn your car process. We distributed the cars throughout the convention. And I've got to tell you, Derek, it was a tad confusing for a while. We think we've worked the bugs out. The first car was issued at registration. The second and third cars were issued when the member purchased our car, and the fourth car was distributed at the Lionel seminar, and that car was donated by the Lionel folks to help us complete our set.
Very nice. Very nice.
The other car that we did announce here, and in fact sold here, was the 2014 anniversary car. That car, in fact, is in our warehouse, our business office, and is ready to ship. We will have a posting on the web early next week for folks who did not attend the convention to order the cars. These cars are limited to 750. We do have the cars, so it's immediate ship. And the cars have a little bit different design. The design of the car, the folks at Lionel actually designed the side of a car to mimic a locomotive. It's very attractive. The car, of course, is in reverse colors to the on-site car, and together they make a really nice set. And to the folks who have purchased the cars have all been extremely satisfied and appreciative that the cars are available here and match each other so well. One other point I would like to point out to Derek is on these cars we have an American flag, and we've had the American flag now on a number of our cars, and going forward we hope and intend to put the flag on our future product.
Very nice patriotic touch, and definitely a classy touch. The other news that we're going to break here, or I guess the first news that we're going to break, and you can hear the paper shuffling, is the LCCA is announcing a new set today here during the seminar. And I'm sitting here looking at the artwork for this set, and this is really, really, really cool. Dennis, tell us about this set. What is this all about?
Well, we're kind of proud to offer this set. As you know, the 2015 convention, our 45th convention, will be held in Boston. And the theme of this particular train is Northeast Railroads. The particular engine we're offering is a diesel. It's a GP7. It is a Lion Chief Plus engine, and it will be offered decked out in the Minuteman livery. It's a brownish engine with gold stripes, very attractive, with the Boston and Maine Minuteman on the nose.
That's a sharp set. It's a really sharp set. And what we'll do is we'll take a couple of grab shots and we'll post them on the Notch 6 Facebook page. That'll be up after the announcement is made this afternoon. So if you want to get a look at this set, head on over to facebook.com/Notch6 and you will be able to see a few grab shots. Not only is the engine sharp, there is some matching rolling stock that goes with the rest of this set that is just as sharp. And this is, I tell you what, I personally don't get excited about train sets. This is a nice train set. Tell me a little bit more about the engine and the rolling stock.
Well, we've gone back, and one of the things that I've always been interested in is the number that's assigned to each car. We've gone back and found unused numbers from the post-war period that we're applying to this particular set. So the engine, this GP7, is numbered to 2335.
Okay.
And the matching dummy, there is a matching dummy, Derek. The matching dummy is the same livery, 2361.
Very cool.
So together they make a wonderful set. The fact that they're Lion Chief Plus is a real positive feature. It comes with a controller, and that set will be offered together with the remaining cars, one of which is a Boston and Maine smoking O-gauge bay window caboose. The smoking caboose, of course, in bay window in traditional O-scale is rather rare, and it was something that we wanted to offer to enhance the features of this particular set. But the caboose number is 6617, again in the same series, but an unused number.
Okay.
So we have the GP7, the GP7 dummy, and the bay window caboose as our motive power and tail end cabin car for the train set.
Okay.
Offered independent as a set will be a 3-car set of rolling stock. We're kind of excited about it, Derek. We've been able to get a State of Maine Bangor and Aristoc refrigerator car, but as far as we know, this is the first time that the State of Maine Bangor and Aristoc car, it's a beautiful red, white, and blue car, is offered on a refrigerator car body. It's the refrigerator car with a sliding door, and it will be offered as the first car in this set.
Okay.
The second car in this set is rather interesting. It's a oil car. There has been a few other issues of this car, but we've enhanced it and restructured it. It's an oil zoom car, the White and Begley company car. Its number will be 6515, and it comes fully decked out with the appropriate logos, and it'll be a nice addition. The AutoZoom people were a company founded in the Northeast, and it is an appropriate car for a set like this. The third car is interesting in that it's a automatic dump car. The original car is based off the post-war car. The current number on that car is a 3659, and we're going to deck that car out in Northeast livery. What's interesting about the car is that it has been offered for a while, and some tooling has been modified, and we've had an opportunity now to use this car on our set. So that pretty well completes the set as offered.
It's a sharp set, too, and like I said, we'll try and post some pictures. If you don't get them from us, the LCCA will post pictures. When will this set be available to order?
Well, we've done something different and something I'm really excited about, Derek. In the past, we've put product on our website, and people ordered the cars. The members selected the cars and ordered them, and then they waited for quite a while. In the meantime, we had to put the quantity in, and we were either short or over when it came time to end the ordering period, but yet you're stuck with a firm contract. And what we've asked Lionel to do, and they've agreed, is that we are now going to have prototypes before we put in the final order.
Oh, cool.
It will allow us to have in October at Fall York, we will have a physical model of the final livery, the final decal on the engines, and we'll be able to start the ordering process after we get a prototype, and we'll be able to firm up that order going forward, so that we actually can more accurately project our quantities.
Very nice. So look for ordering for this set to be available after Fall York. Sounds right.
After Fall York, we will start the ordering process.
Very good.
But we do want to get this in front of our members so they can see and touch and feel the product and know what exactly we'll be offering.
Absolutely. You guys have a couple of other products coming down the pipeline. What else have you got for us to share today?
Well, I can share with you, we're working on a 2015 convention car. We have a number of options for this car, and since we really haven't asked, what we're going to be doing at the meeting this afternoon is getting a hands show vote on what the membership here would like to see as a option. We're looking at a falling brakeman. We're looking at a mint car. We're looking at a series of cars, and we'll be taking requests from the audience also to help us decide what we're going to do. One of the things we're thinking about, Derek, is on the set box to offer we're offering 3 cars, to have a spot in that set for the convention car, which would add to the train set and still be in the same package. So the convention car would actually fit into the set box and make the set longer by buying the convention car to augment the set.
Very cool. And this is a perfect spot to interject. And we haven't talked about this at all, and I was going to save this for later in the week, but where are we shipping off to next year for the convention? Would anybody like to tell me that?
I certainly would. We're going to Boston, the DoubleTree, up north of Boston in Danvers. And we'll have this set will be there, and we're looking forward to it. We've had the hotel folks from the DoubleTree here. They are ready for us. The convention here, Derek, as you've been saying all along, has just been absolutely wonderful.
Yes, it has.
In terms of the attendance, in terms of the tours, the events, it's essentially a flawless convention, and I know a lot of people have worked very hard to have this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the hotel from Boston is here to look over and see what we do, so that when we do get to Boston, they're prepared for us and what we do at conventions. And a lot of the learning process the hotel goes through to introduce themselves to us is taken care of by having their folks here at this event.
Very nice, very nice. You guys have somewhat of a contest coming our direction that you guys are going to announce today, and it has something to do with one of the all-time favorite Lionel freight cars. Tell me what you guys have in mind.
Well, Derek, before I do that, I will say that one of the most frequently heard comments that we've received is, why did you design the car this way? Why did you do this? Why didn't you do this? And what kind of car did you offer? And why can't you? And the questions are reasonably endless. And to share that with your listeners and with our membership, we're having a design contest. We will have on our website in just a few days a blank template of a mint car. And we will offer a mint car prize to a winning selection of any member who designs a car that's selected for production. So here's your chance to really deck it out. We've got the window shell, we've got the sides, we've got the top, we've got the ends, we've got the bottom. And it's a member's chance to express himself and to provide a car that is somewhat unique in the club, because I'm not aware of any other contest where the membership gets to actually offer a design for production.
Sure.
So we will have this contest announced. We hope to announce it to our Lion Roarers through the October issue, and at that time we'll start the contest, but anybody on the web will have an advance opportunity to look at the prints and perhaps come up with some ideas that we can turn into a physical product next year.
Very neat, and that sounds like that's going to be a lot of fun. I already have a design idea in mind, so you better bet I'm going to play along too. Anything else to share with us before we move on to Mr. Colas this morning?
Well, there's a couple of surprises that I would rather wait until later.
Okay.
But the product is coming along nicely. We have some pretty big shoes to fill with Lou. Lou had designed so many of our sets, and he had done such a wonderful job. And to keep up that level of product, of that level of offering, is important to us. So we're working to do that, and the cars that are coming out, I believe, will be worthy of the traditions Lou have established.
Very nice. LCCA President Dennis DeVito sharing with us about brand new product. Dennis, it's always great to see you, and we'll get back with you here before too long, and we'll find out what these other surprises are, and we can't wait to share them with our listeners. Thanks again.
Thank you, Derek.
You're listening to Notch 6 at the LCCA National Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Welcome back to the Notch 6 online podcast. Here this afternoon with Matt Ashbaugh, who is the Director of Product Planning for Lionel. Did I get it right this time?
You have it right there, Derek. Thank you.
Very good. So basically what Matt's job boils down to is anytime you want something made at Lionel, you need to go harass Matt instead of harassing Mike Reagan, because Matt is the guy that really nails down some of the decisions for Lionel. Kind of give our listeners an overview of what your job looks like.
Well, day to day, I'm looking closely at new products that we're creating for the line. There's a lot of input that we get from all directions, and at some point all that has to be funneled in a manner that's not too insane for the company. We've got a great team at North Carolina and throughout the country, and we all do our best to get all that information formulated, coordinated, and our goal is to make the strongest possible line that we can, and that's where my attention is day to day.
Very good. And the last time we heard from Matt was on the 2014 Volume 1 Catalog Special, which was a resounding success, and we're so happy to have you back. I like days like today because we get to talk about exciting new things that nobody else has heard about yet, and actually the only people that will have heard what you're about to hear are the people who are in the LCCA Lionel seminar. You guys that are listening to the show are only the second group of people that this news is going out to. So this is the next best thing to being in Indianapolis, is listening to this show. let's start out the hot topic, and we've been rolling on this since York all the way through the spring, is the Vision Line Big Boy. You guys have a couple of treats in mind for the people that have ordered this engine. Tell me what you guys have coming down the pipe that's special that we haven't heard about yet.
Yeah, you bet. Of course, the Big Boy has been a resounding success. We expected it to be. We expected this to be a heck of a product, and it's going to be. And but we were even more surprised, really, with just how popular again this Big Boy is, and how much it means to everybody. We'd love to, for the C2 catalog, to give the Big Boy buyers something else that they can run with their Big Boys, just little add-ons. So something you want to look for in the C2 catalog. You may recall the auxiliary water cars that we offered a handful of years ago. We are going to offer those again in the original yellow scheme. That will be good matches, appropriate matches for the Big Boy. As you know, now the auxiliary water tenders are being used on some of the restored locomotives, and we think that a lot of folks would love to have a nice additional legacy car that they can add to run behind their Big Boy. So that's one product that we have. There's a few different SKUs that we have for the water car. You're also going to see a new freight car that's going to be part of the line that you can use. You can pull behind your Big Boy. And this car is going to be a commemorative caboose. It'll be a CA4 caboose, which everybody is familiar with and knows that to be a great car for Union Pacific specific. And this is going to be a car that's commemorating all of the surviving Big Boy locomotives throughout the nation. So that car will feature that classic heritage flag that you see on so many of the Union Pacific items in recent years. So we're really excited. These certainly aren't Big Boy pieces, but these are nice, beautiful add-on cars that will make your Big Boy operation even more enjoyable.
One of the neat things, too, and for the railroad historians out there, they might recognize the fact that Lionel is using a CA4 caboose. Actually, when Union Pacific traded for the Big Boy that was just pulled out of the park in California earlier in 2014, one of the parts of the trade was a CA4 caboose that Union Pacific had restored and was using in some limited excursion service. So how neat to have a CA4 caboose that's commemorating the Big Boys and putting that behind your Vision Line Big Boys. And the flip side of that is, too, it's so great to hear that this engine has been received so well. And you and I, when we first started talking about this engine, we knew it was special. So when you guys took it out of the mahogany case at York and put it up in the TCA Museum, and you started looking at this engine, you knew it was special. But just to watch the excitement build really over the last 6-7 months and go through the pre-order period and hear time and time again that, there are hobby shops that haven't had this kind of pre-order level in a long, long time. How does that make the marketing team and Lionel as a whole feel about this engine?
Well, we're very proud, and it gives us even more confidence about the interest there is in our high-end products and in new features. For all the interest that there is in it, in fact, being the Big Boy, there's equal interest in all these wonderful features that are going to be part of this. And not only, the dual sound and the smoke features, but I'll tell you that the tender, the depleting coal tender, is just something I think everybody is really anxious to put on their own layout at home, run that, listen to it, and watch that tender. It just really brings something fresh to an already highly innovative line for Lionel.
And what's neat, I think, and I've had some conversations with Mike Reagan on this, when you get new technology like the depleting coal load, that technology funnels down into other Lionel products. One thing that I understand is the small motor that is used for the depleting coal load actually became the motor that's in the new TMCC tie ejectors. Yes. In terms of using that as a command control motor. So it's neat to see innovations at the top work their way down through the product line and suddenly create this whole host of new Lionel products. And that's got to make your job kind of fun, because you think, okay, how can I take this technology, make this play with something else, and really create something new. And Do you guys ever, I guess a big question I have, and I'm sure a lot of other people have had this, is how do you guys come up with your ideas? I mean, is it something you guys work on as a team, or do you guys take outside suggestions? I mean, what kind of thought planning goes into coming up with, how does the product get from somebody's brain to, somebody's house? How does that go?
That's a really good question, and it comes from all places. You never know what ideas are going to stick or what idea will lead to something else. You bring a good point about the tender. One way to reuse the depleting coal tender is to use that exact same feature on a different locomotive, which perhaps you'll see sometime. But you are limited in the fact that what's necessary to do that needs to be confined inside of a tender, and if you get that tender too small, you're not going to be able to succeed in having that feature. But to your point, the work that went into the development of that, we're able to use that engineering and that work into different types of products in ways that even for someone like myself, I don't know all the ins and outs of what a lot of other people do. There's so many people who are experts in their own field, and they whether they're within Lionel or outside of Lionel, and you just have to keep your ears open. You have to listen to what's coming in, and it's not just myself, it's the group. You hear certain things, and then something clicks, and you realize that there's something else you can do with that, and that may open a whole new door for what you're doing for your line, or for what you're doing with new innovations and products.
Very neat. I can only imagine some of those meetings when you guys are kicking around ideas for new product, and do you guys just ever have those lightning bolt moments where it's like, that's a really, really great idea. Can we run with that? Can we actually find a way to make that work?
Yeah, it's usually that's like, that is too cool. Can we do it? Is it possible to do something like that? So yeah, the ideas come from all sources. It's important for us to listen, and it's important for us at Lionel to have the right people who are able to take those pieces, those dreams, and make them into reality, and to see what is possible and what's not.
If you don't mind me asking, can you kind of give our listeners a time frame on how long the depleting coal load idea has kind of taken to come from a drawing board idea to it's finally making it into a production locomotive? I mean, is it a quick process? Is it something that you guys have been kicking this around for a few years, or?
Yeah, the idea itself has been floating around for a few years. Once we committed to doing the big boy, and then discussing what new features could be done for it that would really place this as the classic vision piece, that one rose to the top very quickly as being the feature. But at that point, this is really where the work really kicks in. At that point, committing to the idea as a concept is, can we prove the concept?
Sure. And
that's where all the blood, sweat, and tears comes in for the group. And we're just really happy that we're able to pull off, such great new innovations, and find a way to work it in to actually have it be a feasible feature for a new product.
And that's no joke when he says blood, sweat, and tears. The hours that the Lionel engineering group puts into these features. I know, just talking to Mike the other night, you guys are still making those final tweaks to make sure the depleting coal load material is right, so you can do it again and again and again and again. And so, take it very seriously when they say blood, sweat, and tears are what goes into this. And I think a lot of people envy you in your job because you're the guy that gets to make a lot of those decisions with the rest of your team about, okay, this is what we've dreamed of. Let's see if we can make it a reality. And like I said, I think a lot of people who look at the toy train hobby envy your job, that you're the guy that gets to make a lot of those decisions.
The downside is I'm not the guy that gets to play with it when it's all done. It's you guys out there who have all the fun in that regard.
Well, and Mike and I were talking about that the other night is, from, going off on a tangent for a second, the job of working at Lionel, it's a job. It can be a fun job, but if you think these guys are sitting around the office playing with trains all day, you're far, far, far from the truth. What they're doing is they're spending their time working on getting the product right. So when it hits the end users, you guys are having a great time with it. And so That's something that we really want to highlight and tell people how important it is that you understand that these guys are out there working hard every day to make a product that you guys are going to love. Now comes the really, really fun part of the show, and I'm so excited. You guys are rolling out a new product for 2014 Volume 2.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about this product, and let's dig into what it is and why it's special.
Sure, and this follows up well after our big boy conversation, because yet again, we're dealing with ideas and innovations that start from little seeds of ideas, and once you tap into that, it opens up a broader world of considerations of what you may or may want to do for the larger line. But one thing you'll see, and as you mentioned, this is going to be discussed at the seminar on Friday at the LCCA convention, and so your listeners are going to be the second group that has this information. But I love giving little previews too of product. It's hard to keep my lip buttoned at times and not want to whisper to everybody what's going on. But the bottom line is, one of the aggressive areas that we're really working hard to expand our line in is accessories. We've heard from customers, and we know within that folks really enjoy our operating accessories. We have admittedly been a little thinner than we'd like to be over the course of recent years, due to a lot of different factors. In part it has to do where tools are, what still exists, the changing over the years from tubular track to fast track to Lion Chief system. There's all these changes, and you've got various products that you're trying best to keep everything up to date and proper for your current time. But sorry, I'm straying a little bit. But what we're offering in C2 is an expanded first view of many new accessories that were coming out in 2015. So you get a preview of new accessories. This is going to involve both conventional accessories and command accessories. We know that there's a lot of folks out there who would like to put their cab controllers to use for more than just their locomotive. And what perfect way to use it than to use it for some accessory that's across your layout. But the other thing that we have here that's perhaps even more important is the fact that we're basically rebuilding the system of accessories. So we're making it even more easy to use, and we refer to it as the plug-and-play system. Now, the plug-and-play literally is what it says. You get your accessory, you take it out of the box. It has its cable connection, power connection to your power, whether it's your layout or an accessory or a power supply, and you're ready to go. I know for some folks, trying to figure out how you're supposed to wire this to this particular layout that you have, I'm sure there's been a few cuss words along the way for some folks over the years.
Sure.
There's so many years of product out there. But the bottom line is, what you'll have is an easy connection system that will connect to a lock-on.
Okay.
So it's basically a plug from your accessory. It will get its power by connecting directly into a lock-on that will connect directly onto a curve or a straight of your fast track.
Okay.
If you don't have fast track, if you've got the old tubular track, if you want to power your accessory with a power supply, you'll also have in your box a cable that will connect to that will have the bare wires that will allow you to connect it to in a more traditional fashion.
Got it.
Keep in mind too, with the Lion Chief system that we have now with the DC power, that's another variable in all of this. So these new accessories will not only be they'll be usable in both the AC and DC setting.
Okay.
So as we are moving forward with different parts of our line, we need to make sure that the accessories are easy to use from young and old, whether you've been in the hobby for 50 years or whether you're new to it. We want accessories that folks can easily use and enjoy.
Okay. Can you kind of give me an example of one of the accessories we're going to see and how that might change a little bit? Is that asking too much at this point for an example?
That's no problem at all. If it's as simple as as a building.
Okay.
You'll see, for instance, a Keystone Cafe building that's coming out. Just a nice Main Street building. It's just powered by it just has lights. That will be updated to LED lighting.
Oh, nice.
So you're going to see that across the board with accessories. One bonus for that is, you don't have to change that out, but it works well for us in the DC setting as well.
Sure.
So you're going to see the upgrade in the lighting for that, but also it's just your simple connection from that plug that goes from that to your lock-on or to the wiring.
Okay.
So it's basically updated and fitted to fit any layout that we currently offer or something that you've had in the past.
Very cool.
More advanced than that, you might have something that it demands a control box, for instance. Everything you need for it to run that's going to be in the box. The beauty of the system and what's been, that they've labored over in a sense is finding a sort of standardized system of cabling and wiring. So whatever pieces that we use within those accessories and for your layout, and what might be offered for separate sale for those who might need other things. The pieces are what is needed is very limited. There's a very concentrated or a small number of standardized pieces that we use.
Okay.
And I think this is going to be really helpful for everybody as we move forward. On the higher end side, like I said, you might have things that have multiple operations, and in which case you'll be given any cables that you'll need to directly connect that to whatever source you want to connect that to. And like I said, it's not just the conventional pieces. You're also going to have a nice selection of command pieces as well. One cool product you guys might be interested in, and you might have seen it, some other pieces that have been done that I've seen, but we're updating our gantry crane.
Okay.
Which is going to be command control.
Nice.
So it's going to be a beautiful piece, the classic gantry crane, where you'll be able to control the magnet, the boom, the hooks, the cab rotation. All of that will be by command control.
Okay.
But the bonus that we're adding for this year, or for 2015, is when it will be released, is it's going to be a mobile unit.
Nice.
So the wheels on the base will actually be usable, and they'll be command controllable.
Nice.
So those wheels will lay down on tracks that lay alongside yours, and you'll be able to move that back and forth in addition to all the other wonderful controls that you have for that accessory.
That's cool. Yeah. I know tons of guys. I mean, the gantry tracks have existed. Gargraves has done them for a long time. I know you guys have done your own sections before, and for years, guys have figured out, okay, move the crane by hand back and forth down the track. But to get to that point now where the crane moves itself, that's really cool. That's why I do the show, guys, is because I get to hear stuff like this, and I'm so excited that we get to share it with you guys. How neat is it that you guys are focusing on accessories again? Joshua Lionel Kughn very famously said, the great thing about accessories is if you just put a loop of track on the floor, next thing you know, the little nippers are going to light the carpet on fire, and accessories give the train something to do. And the fact that Lionel still recognizes that is a very core part of the Lionel world is really, really neat. And to hear that you guys are taking some of these things back to the drawing board and kind of reimagining how they work and how they function and trying to simplify, I think that says a lot for the direction Lionel has gone the past few years. And I mean that in a very positive way in terms of, the advent of Lion Chief Plus, in terms of trying to figure out how do we make the technology work to our advantage, and how do we make this Lionel world simple and fun, and how do we avoid the complicated parts of getting it set up and get to the fun faster, I think is what I'm trying to get at. And it's so neat to hear that you guys are working on that in a very active manner. Now,
I want to interrupt you too.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I think this is important. The team has really done the engineering groups have done a wonderful job too in making improvements to the various accessories to just make them run better. Now's the perfect time as we make these larger changes to adjust the accessories to our new systems, etc., to really take a look at the workings of the pieces. And I know whether it's Mike Reagan or Bob LaParle or Rich Mosier or Ted Bockley, we've got a lot of great people who are thinking about these, pulling them apart, and now's the perfect time, and you'll see this with the pieces. They're going to run better. There's going to be less room for things to go wrong, because they're going to be more smartly designed based on what we know today.
Yeah, and it's great to hear that, because I'm going to try and say this in the most positive way possible. It's been very easy to sit back and use mechanical designs that were designed 40, 50 years ago and continue just to use them that way and not really make any updates. But the fact that you guys are saying, okay, we like the idea, but we can make it do it better, and that's really cool to hear, that you guys have decided, okay, we're not going to sit here and rest on our laurels. We're going to go out and we're going to actively figure out how we can improve something that's already really fun and really cool. But if we can make it do it better, why not?
Exactly.
That's very, very cool. I tell you what, I would be doing my listeners a disservice if I didn't ask, and we can be very vague about this. Do you guys already have something in mind for 15 that is going to put you back at the same level as 2014 in terms of, you guys have some big shoes to fill after this Vision Line big boy. Do you guys have something on the drawing board right now that is going to command the same kind of attention in 2015?
Well, I think that's a really good question. We're as anxious, I think, as everybody who enjoys trains to know and to really pin down what the next big vision piece is going to be. We're certainly looking forward to announcing what it's going to be. We're not there yet. Mainly, a strategy that we do have that we will try to follow with these vision pieces. We want this big boy to go out. We want people to have a chance to enjoy it.
Sure.
We want it to work its way through the system, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Before our next piece. So we're not in any rush, say C2 of this next catalog or C1 of 2015 to really bring something out right at this moment, because we want everybody to have a chance to absorb what we've done with the vision and for us to really be ahead of the game with our next piece. That's not to say that we have not already begun talks on what we're going to do next. So I'll leave you with that. I will say I would not expect to see an announcement of one in C1 of 2015, but you may want to keep your eyes peeled for C2 for an announcement of 2015.
I love it. And we're going to leave it right there. Matt Ashbaugh, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for being open with our listeners and sharing about this exciting new accessory system. I tell you what, right around the time when December rolls around, those big boys come off the boat and start making it out. I love the fact that we have accessories to look forward to, and we will wait patiently for the next exciting thing that Lionel has around the bend. Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks for listening to Notch 6, the only podcast dedicated to O-gauge trains. You can find every episode on our website, notch6.com, or on iTunes and Stitcher. We'll see you again soon. Until then, be sure to keep it in Notch 6. The following has been a production of Notch 6 Media and is intended for private use only. This show may not be copied or redistributed without express written consent. This show copyright 2014, all rights reserved.